You may have started this at home already. If not, I'm going to review it, and this will be part of the next exercise that we work on. So the difference between wait and stay is that wait is just a very brief pause. Stay is you need to park it, I'm going to walk away, and then I'm going to come back to you. We also use wait when we're going through doorways, and we want the dog to pause for a moment so that they don't dash through the door, or when we put the puppy in a kennel and then we go to let them out, we say wait so that they're not busting through the kennel door. It's also a word that it's one of those words in our vocabulary that we just say to dogs even if we haven't taught it to them as a cue yet, because it's what we want the dog to do. So if wait is entirely new, first we work on a sit. Good girl. If my dog doesn't have a very good sit duration, I can increase that by feeding treats more quickly. Yes. Yes. If my dog pops up out of a sit like that, I don't want to tell them to sit again and then immediately reward them, because then they're getting rewarded for a pattern of sit, pop up, sit, pop up, sit, pop up. So if my dog is struggling with a sit duration, one, if you're working on hardwood or this cement floor, that can be really challenging, and so this dog is kind of sliding out a little bit. And so she is popping up, I think, because she's having a hard time staying still. So I'm gonna grab one of my mats. I'm gonna use this, and hopefully she'll keep her butt in one place. We'll try again. Sit, good girl. Yes. Yes, good girl. And so now I don't even have to reward as quickly because she's not sliding. She's sliding a little bit, but it's not nearly as bad. So, first thing I want to work on is my puppy staying in a sit for a longer period of time. And I usually work on that just by being a pest dispenser, giving the puppy treats more rapidly, and then I slowly start to space them out. So she's got the idea that I want her to be in a sitting position. That's great. Before I add a wait command, I'm going to, just do some small movements. Like I just shifted my weight from side to side. I can pick up a foot. Yes. So when I add movement, I want to reward the dog because, yes, I moved and she stayed put. If I do a big movement like that, that's too much. She got up. I'm not going to do that movement again because that's too much. That was a really exaggerated example, but for some puppies, doing little foot lifts might be too much for them to start because they're just not sure what it is that we're asking them to do. So I start with small movements. If I did this, yes, and that was too much, then next time, yes, I'll just do a small leg lift. So the rule is if you do a movement and it makes the dog get up, dial it back and do less of whatever you just did. So I'm adding in movement, my dog is staying still, so now I can add the cue that I'm going to use, which is wait. So now I'll say the cue, wait, yes, and then I'll move. So now I'm teaching her when I say the word wait, even if I do something else, I want you to stay put. Wait. Yes. So I want to start with really small movements. So I just took like a half step away from her. Wait. Yes. And then I can come back. I can come back and reward my dog. Once they start to get the hang of this, then I'll tell them wait. Wait. Good girl, yeah. Yeah. And sometimes I can just use that you getting to move out of the position is your reward. So with wait, we start with really small movements. We don't give the cue to start out. Once the dog is staying put, even if we move a little bit, Then I can start giving the cue first. I make a movement, I tell my dog yes and reward them, and I slowly increase my movements from there. You initially should go back to the dog to reward them. Once they start getting the hang of it and you move a couple steps away, then you can tell them yes and call them to you. Usually if you just say yes and put your hand down, the dog is going to want to come to you. Any questions on that?
Yeah, you only say to sit the first time. If they come out, you say it again when you try to get them back?
I would, if they pop up, I would give them a second to restart, maybe just walk in a loop with them or something. Go back and then, okay, sit. Maybe? Good girl, there you go. Okay, good girl. Yes. So if I break it up by a couple seconds, I can give the cue again and then I can give them a treat. But if I do this, if I say, good girl, if I say sit and then she stands up, I'm not gonna make her stand up, but if I say sit and she sits and then immediately pops up, I need to break that up somehow. So I either need to give her a couple seconds, move her away, bring her back, or if I reposition, I'm not gonna use the cue and I'm not going to reward if I reposition immediately. I can give the cue and I can give a reward if I move away and give the dog a bit of a break and then come back to it. Is that clear? Okay. All right, let's work on weight and we'll add on to it as we go.